Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to talk about the Keith Lee effect and his recent trip to Atlanta. And I also want to talk about the teacher, Noelle Cheney, who decided to lie for some extra engagement on social media, TikTok specifically. But we're going to talk all about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so I've talked about Keith Lee before. I'm sure you know who he is. If you're over on TikTok, he has a really large platform, and I like some of the reviews that he does. Obviously, he reviews a lot of restaurants in Vegas because that's where he lives, and I'm not there. So some of the places, you know, the only way that I could try them is if I went to Vegas, but nevertheless, I think that he's a really good guy. I think that he has, really stayed true to himself and remained humble, which is really hard to find on social media. And he has amassed a really large audience that really takes his reviews and, takes them at face value and will go to these restaurants and give them business. And a lot of these restaurants have bounced back because Keith Lee gave them a fair and honest review, even if it had a little bit of feedback. That's normal. That's what businesses should want. They should want somebody to come review their products, offer some feedback, and keep it moving. But as we know, a lot of businesses just take that personally, and they're so afraid of people reviewing their products. And my whole thing is like, listen, if you're a business owner and you stand behind your products, you shouldn't be scared of Keith Lee or any other food critic walking in the doors of your business or calling to put in a carry-out order or whatever it is. First, I want to show you guys the video that he put out. It says the Real Milk and Honey taste test. So let's listen to what he had to say. And this was put out a few days ago, and then we'll listen to how they responded. So let's get into his video first.
Me and my family are in Atlanta, and currently we are at the Real Milk and Honey. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. As you can see, I don't have any bags in my hands. We are at the Real Milk and Honey on Main Street in College Park. Before we came, we attempted to call our order in. We were greeted with an automatic message that said they do not take call-in orders. The automatic message said the only way you can do pickup is through DoorDash. We went through DoorDash, they was closed. But online, it said they closed at 5 o'clock. We went on DoorDash at 4 o'clock, but we were already here, so we just went inside. I stayed in the car and my family went in, and they told them they were closed early for deep cleaning. Yet the door's wide open and it's people still going in and grabbing their orders. Now we have no idea if those people ordered beforehand or what the case is. Also, the people who relayed this message, my family said were really nice. It's just the rules. And so far being in Atlanta, I found some places do have unique rules, and this is one of them. I want to be very clear, we're not blaming one person or saying one person was rude. In plain terms, don't call this restaurant trying to get nobody fired. Ain't nobody do nothing. This is just the rules they had. If you don't like their rules not for you. And for me and my family, the rules just wasn't for us. We just not their target audience. For the record, afterwards, I did walk in and they did recognize me and they attended the services, but I respectfully declined. I'm a normal person. I pay for my food like everybody else. I walk in spots like everybody else. We are all normal people. Respectfully, if you're not gonna do it then, don't do it now. God bless you. Yeah, we're just trying to get some food. But I am gonna make this very clear. I do not support, condone, or agree tearing down these businesses. While we personally may not have the best customer service experience, that does not mean you will have the same experience. That also don't mean go on Twitter and tear these businesses down. At the end,
listen, I want to point out something that is very, very obvious for most people. You can have amazing products, whether it's food, makeup, skincare, clothing, some kind of service that you're offering. You can have that nailed down to a T, you can have it down to a science, and you know exactly what you're offering. If your service and the people that are client facing or customer facing are salty, rude, have an attitude, treat some people better than they treat others because of their TikTok status or whatever, you might as well just throw it in the bag, because it will not allow your business to strive long term. And I am so tired of influencers being treated better than the quote rest of us. And I am so glad that Keith Lee stood by his morals yet again and showed these people, you're not gonna just sit here and now you're gonna serve me because you know who I am from TikTok, and you know that my review could kind of make or break your business whether or not you want it to. because, as I said, he has brought businesses back from the dead, and he has also been able to tell people, hey, you might want to think twice before you go to this business. This is just a review, as if, as if I was reviewing a lipstick. Some of y'all might take that and be like, oh, I think I'm going to skip on that and save my money. It's the same thing with restaurant reviews and food reviews. If you trust the creator and you trust what they're saying, you might decide to save your money.
At the end of the day, business owners are people. You never know what people are going through. The only reason I'm even making this is to share my authentic and real experience like I always do. I don't mean no harm, I don't have no malicious intent, but I always say I'm gonna be 100% honest, and that come with the good and the not so good. You don't know what nobody going through, so what we can't do is just judge off of somebody else's experience. If you would like to go to these places or any other place that I've been to, I encourage you to go try it for yourself and make your own opinion. But we still in Atlanta, and we on Main Street, and it's a bunch of spots here, so we're gonna go to a different spot. God bless you, have an amazing day, y'all be safe.
So that's the video that he put out that kind of started all of this. And there were a lot of Atlanta residents who were responding. Sorry if the camera's shaking, like Axel's right here trying to get adjusted. But there have been a lot of Atlanta residents who, frequent businesses, especially restaurants in this area that he's referring to in College Park. And they have come on and said, look, these Atlanta restaurants, they think that just because they have a grass wall and neon sign and they serve pork chops, they think that they just automatically deserve business. And they're getting views on TikTok, or, they throw up Instagram photos that get decent engagement. They automatically think that that is the full package, and that's just not it. And again, I don't live in Atlanta. I've actually never even been to Atlanta outside of the airport. But these are residents of Atlanta that are echoing that restaurants do not have it put together down there. The service is not there. And like I said, you can have the best food ever, but if your service isn't there, then forget about it.
I'm so glad that Keith Lee is talking about these Atlanta restaurants, because there is a reason why I don't go out to a lot of restaurants here. Story time. So this past week, I went to a restaurant for my friend's birthday. And this is the reason why I didn't act a damn fool. It was her birthday. So another friend in our friend group handled most of the issues because I just wasn't in the mood. From the time that we sat down and ordered our drinks to the time that my drink actually arrived, it was 1 hour and 18 minutes. You heard me right. And instead of even giving me an update as to when the drink will be ready or what was going on with the kitchen, the waitress never said anything until I pulled her to the side and asked. I'm not even the kind of person that will ever send anything back to the kitchen, even if they make it wrong. But I just find it absolutely insane that a customer will wait 1 hour and 15 minutes for a drink and it not even be comped. The restaurant scene here is in hell. But, the food is good, so you gotta decide if it's worth your stress or not. As for me, I think I'm gonna pass. I'm good.
You are correct, and Keith Lee actually did state this. He did say that not all restaurant rules are for everybody, but I'm going to take it a step further and just shoot straight and say that these rules are dumb. They're dumb, they don't make any sense, and if I had to guess, they didn't even proofread them because, as somebody pointed out, number 3 negated number 9. I'll just put this back up here for reference. With that said, I too agree that not everything is for everybody, but I also agree in not adhering to stupidity.
My city of Atlanta is on blast now that Keith Lee is here exposing these restaurants. So one of the restaurants that he tried to try, he didn't get to try the food because they had so many rules that he just couldn't order. But now that I've seen the owners double down in their ridiculous business runnings by trying to say, oh, we don't know who Keith Lee is, and I saw the manager leave an ableist comment under someone's video, I want to drag. Okay, these are their house rules. First of all, there should not be rules to attend a regular restaurant. It's not even a fine dining restaurant. We guarantee great food. Everything else is left to chance. What do you mean by that? As a restaurant, as a business in the hospitality industry, you have to guarantee safety. You have to guarantee quality. So many things can happen in a public establishment like a restaurant. So only guaranteeing great food is scary. They don't do individual checks. They only allow up to 3 forms of payment. What's weird about that is that nowadays you can usually print a check with multiple seats on it. So it's one check, but people can give you multiple cards, and it's an easier way for the restaurant and for the consumer. A lot of y'all Atlanta restaurants have gone crazy with the 18% gratuity included, and I am not a cheap tipper. I like to tip well. But I find that a lot of these restaurants that have this rule, the service is usually shitty. It's usually so bad. No modifications is crazy. Okay, hold on a minute. How can you say in one breath that you guarantee great food and then say, oh, no modifications if you have food allergies? And this is what I meant when I said you can't guarantee great food and nothing else. If I have a food allergy, you're supposed to be able to at least try to accommodate that on some dishes. Number 5, be nice. Well, I don't think it was really nice to try to invalidate Keith Lee's platform and his accomplishments by saying you don't know who he is. I also don't think it's nice to be ableist and call someone autistic as a form to diminish who they are and what their opinion is. But hey, that's just me. No reservations unless you're Barack Obama. Okay, so they're trying to have like a casual tone in the way that they wrote these rules, but instead of coming off as like warm and inviting, it's coming off as like judgy and sassy. I don't want to eat here. I would not. If we prepare a selected item to our menu specifications, we will not remove that item from your bill. Our entrees are not samples. They're literally saying regardless of what they do to your food, you have to pay for it. If you order something and you don't realize that it has, I don't know, pickles in it and you're allergic to pickles and you don't eat it and you ask them if they could take it off the bill because you can't eat it, you're still gonna have to pay for it. No parties larger than 4. What? And they have no waiting area. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. I just want to know who was eating here before Keith Lee went there. This is what happens when a bunch of people move to Atlanta with no business acumen, no credentials, but they just want to have something in their bios. And you clearly hate people because you are giving them the worst customer service experience possible. And you're letting them know ahead of time it's going to be the worst customer experience possible. I'm sorry, I can't root for every black business. Some of y'all really suck.
So Brother Lee is in Atlanta, and he's starting to see and experience all of these rules and regulations that these restaurants put in place before you even get your plate. Now that leads me to question that what happened to that good old Southern hospitality that the South is so beloved for? Now I'm starting to realize that these restaurants are no longer in the service industry business, but are in the business to sell you food, and there's a difference.
So a few days go by, and I will share a few other creators who gave their commentary on this situation, who live or have frequented the Atlanta area and gone to some of these restaurants. So I'm going to insert those, but several days went by until the company decided to respond. So this was 2 days ago, and now today, this is what the restaurant responded with.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the real milk and honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
We have 3 people standing here or sitting here, and they're all acting as if they just don't know who Keith Lee is. This is a great example of what not to do from a PR stance when you are a business dealing with some negative feedback regarding the customer experience that a customer had at your establishment. I want to read the caption because they said, first and foremost, thank you, Keith Lee, for your pop-up and honest assessment, and for your acknowledgement of understanding that negative vibrations never win. Stay doing what you do and be a positive brother. Second, let's address the negative people that obviously need time to heal within themselves, as they came in really hot without actually hearing or had a real understanding of what you actually communicated. Every business, small or large, successful or not, has worked really, really hard to try their best to make their mark in an extremely tough business. As a successful restaurant owner, I never drag anyone's business, even if I've had a disappointing moment, because I have principles and I know how hard any business worked just to start. I commend any business and any person that got off their ass and just tried. Keith, there's no love lost, and we love you. Stay positive and let's all win. So there's no love lost, but I thought you didn't know who he was. Just saying. Secondly, as far as them trying to say that they're basically saying that Keith should have just stayed quiet and not shared his experience. Who are you to say that somebody should keep their experience to themselves? Keith Lee is very well respected, and if he had an indifferent or negative experience, he has every right to share that. Now, if he had put up a positive video, guarantee you, number one, they obviously know who he is because he walked in the restaurant. And granted, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if it was these exact people that were in the restaurant when he walked in and they said, oh, you know, we'll be willing to serve you now because he was recognized. But they would have been loving it if he came out with a positive video. There would have not been any of the shady, oh, we're having drinks and we just don't know who Keith Lee is. Some of the responses on their video are very interesting and valid. Somebody said, I teach marketing and management. This will be an example of what not to do. Someone said, oh, this was a choice. Someone else said, where's the PR team? Hire one immediately. How many times did y'all practice this? I live all the way in South Africa and I know who Keith Lee is. All business owners, this is a case study on exactly what not to do when it comes to PR and customer service. People outside of Atlanta didn't even know that this restaurant existed until Keith Lee rated it. We don't know him, but tag him and thank him in the caption. Exactly. I'm still stuck on closed for deep cleaning. That's the thing. Like, now granted, take it. I've never worked in a restaurant, so if y'all have, please sound off down below. You would think that most cleaning, especially deep cleaning, would be done after restaurant hours, either early in the morning or late at night. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. Somebody said that fast food restaurants in Atlanta have better customer service than some of these restaurants, like Real Milk and Honey. So that was interesting. Saving this for when it gets deleted. This was a choice, I guess, not what most people would have done, but we'll see how it works out for you and your business. Good example of what not to do. The term ratioed has never been more real, and they're saying that because there are literally like not many likes and there's so many views on this video. It has 2,100 likes and it has almost 11,000 comments on it. So I don't think that this is going to shake out very well for them, but I wanted to bring this to you guys because, you know, it really ties in too with this whole idea of like these influencers being treated as if they are something special just because they have a platform, and half of them don't even know how to interact in a positive manner with people who are willing to give them good customer service. How many times have we heard about influencers being rude to waiters, people that work at a hotel, you know, people that work in a retail store? Like, there's just been so many negative interactions between influencers and people who are there to try to help them. And then we have things like this where it's like, okay, but now you're willing to serve because you saw Keith Lee walked in. But then on this video, you don't know who he is. It's just all very much a like disaster. This is just a disaster. It's what not to do. But I want to know if you guys live in the Atlanta area or you've frequented Atlanta. Is this an Atlanta restaurant issue? And tell me how you feel about them being willing to serve Keith Lee once they saw him. I think it's atrocious. Anybody who is there and is willing to willing to be a paying customer should be served with respect and attention, and you should be grateful for every customer who walks in your door. So that's how I feel about this. The other thing I want to talk about in this video is this teacher. This won't take very long because it's just so stupid. There's this teacher, her name is Noelle Cheney, and she does what I ate for lunch at school because she's a teacher. So, you know, her videos get decent views, whatever. She goes to Subway a lot. She has evidently been really wanting a Subway sponsorship. She decided that she would get some extra engagement on her video by literally lying on a Subway worker just the other day. So she claimed that Subway messed up her whole sandwich and it was ruined, and she threw it down and made this whole scene. She didn't want to eat and she was just done.
All right, we've got today's lunch at school. I got a wrap this time though, just to kind of switch it up. She's thick today. You're kidding me. Are you kidding me? I asked for no tomatoes and no cucumbers, and what do they give me? Tomatoes and cucumbers. I'm literally probably one of their most loyal customers, and they do this to me. Cheers. I didn't put mayo on it either.
Well, the Subway worker decided to come out and not allow this Instagram influencer teacher lady claim something that was not true. So what did the Subway worker do? She pulled the receipt. She proved that this teacher was in fact lying.
Okay, so I don't have a physical copy of the receipt, but I do have a screenshot. You can see her name up there, and then you can see the veggies. Like, this is the only thing that I followed. Lettuce, tomato, and no mayo. This happens a lot though. So like if you would have called and been like, hey, my order was wrong, can you remake it? Or came in and was like, hey, my order's wrong, can you remake it? I would have been like, for sure, I will remake it for you, because that happens a lot where the app doesn't want to do what you ordered. I would have remade it. I would have remade it for her. I would have given it to her for free, because this happens. But at least when I was there, we didn't get a phone call. She didn't come back in. But just for next time, if you come back in, we're really nice. We'll remake it for you. No questions asked, and we'll give it to you.
The teacher came back, Noelle, and she said that, oh, I must have just messed it up. I was in a hurry. That I messed it up on the app, whatever.
Let's talk about the elephant, or in this case, the big sandwich in the room. I didn't double check my order before placing it. I was in a rush trying to order it, and I think I clicked something wrong, or it glitched or something, and my special instructions got wiped out and reset. And I just didn't realize it before I placed the order. I was so excited to eat it. I was so hungry. So when I opened my meal and realized that it wasn't what I thought I ordered, I was bummed. But I also took the opportunity to make it overly dramatic, and it just wasn't funny like I thought it would be. I made the wrong judgment call there. Although it may have come across differently, there was no negativity targeted towards any of the Subway employees. I see them once or twice a week. They are all super nice. I went in today to apologize to all of them, including the one who made the sandwich, and just to tell them that I seriously appreciate everything they do and all of their hard work. They're one of only 2 fast food chains in this town, so I just wanted to let them know that they're very appreciated.
I think that she was never expecting that the Subway worker would respond or see her video or want to defend herself. And this is the problem with faking things for social media. If you are faking things, eventually you will be exposed. And if it's something as minuscule and silly as a Subway sandwich or something much more serious in nature, I've been saying it for 3 years. Just don't lie. Don't lie, and you won't have to worry about things like this imploding in your face. The things that people are willing to do for extra engagement is astounding to me. But things didn't work out in Noelle's favor, and I doubt that Subway will want to work with her in the future. If they do, I'm sure that a lot of people will be contacting Subway and saying, what are you guys thinking? Because there were a lot of people that were really mad about this. Don't lie on people. This was completely unnecessary, and she looks very, very stupid by coming out with this video. But either way, I think that's all I want to talk about for today. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.